Welcome to Get a Deep Sleep. Take a moment now to settle into a comfortable position. Allow your body to relax, letting the day gently fall away. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to focus or try. Simply allow your eyes to close when they feel ready, and let this story carry you calmly into the night. The train is already moving as the night gathers quietly around it, sliding forward with a smooth, even rhythm that feels steady and familiar. There is no sudden beginning, no sense of departure to notice, only the gentle continuation of motion. Outside the windows, rain falls in a soft, patient way, touching the glass with light taps before gliding downward in long, slow paths. The darkness beyond is softened by the rain, and the world outside feels distant and unimportant. Inside the carriage, the air is warm and settled. The seats are upholstered in thick fabric that holds a comfortable heat, supporting the body without asking anything in return. Overhead, lights glow softly, casting a calm amber tone that spreads evenly across the space. Shadows are gentle and rounded, and nothing feels sharp or demanding. Daniel sits by the window, his posture relaxed, his shoulders loose. His coat is folded neatly beside him, placed there without thought. His hands rest comfortably in his lap, fingers slightly curled, completely at ease. He watches the rain without focusing on any single drop, letting the movement blend into a continuous, soothing pattern. His breathing is slow and natural, rising and falling in time with the subtle sway of the train. Across the aisle, Evelyn leans back in her seat, a wool blanket draped softly over her shoulders. The blanket is slightly heavy, the kind that settles gently and stays in place. She adjusts it once with a small, careful movement, then lets her hands rest beneath it. Her eyes are half closed, her gaze unfocused, as if she is listening more than looking. Farther down the carriage, Samuel sits quietly with his head tilted back against the seat. His eyes are open, but calm, resting on nothing in particular. He enjoys night trains for their predictability, for the way nothing unexpected ever happens. The steady sound beneath the carriage reassures him, and he lets his body settle into the seat a little more. The rain outside grows slightly heavier for a while, then eases again, never abrupt, never demanding attention. Droplets streak the windows in overlapping paths, catching faint reflections of the warm interior light. Beyond the glass, distant shapes pass by slowly, softened by darkness and rain, appearing briefly before dissolving back into shadow. Daniel leans his head gently against the seat, feeling the quiet vibration of the train beneath him. The fabric is cool at first, then slowly warms. His shoulders soften further, and his breathing deepens just a little. The sound of the wheels beneath the carriage repeats evenly, a low, continuous pattern that never changes. Evelyn exhales slowly, the blanket rising and falling with her breath. The warmth around her feels steady and reassuring. She listens to the rain against the glass, the sound blending seamlessly with the motion of the train. creating a gentle layer of sound that fills the space without needing attention. Samuel shifts his feet slightly, finding a more comfortable position, then becomes still again. The movement is small and careful, and it fades quickly into the background, leaving only the predictable rhythm of travel. The train moves through a long stretch of night where the rain seems endless. Outside, trees and hills appear only as faint shapes, gliding past in silence. Inside, the light remains unchanged, the warmth constant. A woman near the back of the carriage lifts a ceramic cup to her lips and takes a slow sip of tea. The cup is warm in her hands. She sets it down carefully, the sound barely noticeable, and folds her hands together. Her eyes close, and she rests quietly. Daniel notices how his thoughts drift without forming clear ideas. They appear briefly, then dissolve, leaving behind a soft, open stillness. The train seems to carry not just bodies, but thoughts as well, smoothing them into something quieter. Evelyn's head tilts slightly to one side as she relaxes deeper into her seat. The blanket settles around her shoulders, holding warmth close. Her breathing remains slow and even, and the rain continues its gentle pattern outside. Samuel listens to the repetition beneath him, the steady sound of wheels meeting rails. The rhythm is constant and reassuring, easy to follow without effort. Click and hum over and over again without variation. The train enters a tunnel, and the darkness outside deepens. The sound of the rain softens into a muted echo. Inside, the dim lights feel warmer by contrast, and the carriage takes on the feeling of a small, enclosed room moving quietly through the night. When the train emerges, the rain is still there, unchanged and calm. The outside world remains blurred and distant, as if it exists only to pass gently by. The motion continues without interruption. Daniel closes his eyes for a while. When he opens them again, the scene has not changed. The rain still falls. The lights still glow softly. The passengers remain quiet and still. This constancy feels comforting, allowing his body to rest more deeply. Evelyn adjusts the blanket slightly, then grows still again. Her breathing remains slow and steady. The warmth around her does not shift. Samuel rests his head back against the seat, his eyes closing now. He is not trying to sleep, only resting, letting the night hold him. The sounds around him continue evenly, without change. The rain outside becomes finer for a while, almost mist-like, then returns to its steady rhythm. The windows remain streaked with water, reflecting faint light from inside the carriage. Daniel feels a pleasant heaviness in his limbs, as if the seat is supporting him more fully now. His hands rest loosely, his fingers relaxed. The warmth in the carriage remains constant and gentle. The woman with the tea shifts once, then becomes still again. Another passenger adjusts a scarf, the fabric whispering softly before settling. These small sounds fade quickly, absorbed into the calm. The train continues forward, passing through open stretches of night. Time feels less defined here, no longer marked by minutes or hours, only by motion and sound repeating in a steady way. Evelyn opens her eyes briefly and looks toward the window. The rain traces familiar paths down the glass. She closes her eyes again, content to rest. Samuel's breathing deepens, slow and regular. He remains still, supported by the seat and the gentle sway of the train. Daniel lets his thoughts drift further now, becoming less distinct. The motion of the train feels almost like a gentle rocking, soothing and repetitive. His breathing aligns naturally with the rhythm beneath him. The rain continues, patient and even. The lights inside the carriage cast long, soft shadows that move slowly along the walls and ceiling. Nothing changes quickly. Nothing needs to. A distant whistle sounds faintly somewhere ahead, low and gentle, then fades. It blends into the night without startling anyone. Evelyn shifts slightly, settling deeper into rest. The blanket holds its place. Her face remains calm and neutral. Samuel remains quiet, his posture unchanged. The carriage feels warmer, quieter, more enclosed, as if the night itself has slowed. Daniel's head tilts slightly, resting more fully against the seat. His eyes remain closed now. The sounds continue to repeat softly, predictably, carrying the train forward through the rain and darkness, steady and unhurried, as the night stretches on, calm and uninterrupted. The motion of the train continues without change, the gentle sway settling into the body as naturally as breathing. The sound beneath the floor remains steady, and even the quiet meeting of wheel and rail repeating again and again in a way that feels familiar and safe. Outside, the rain keeps falling softly, neither heavier nor lighter, as if it has found a pace it intends to keep for the rest of the night. Daniel remains by the window, his eyes still closed now, his face relaxed. The glass beside him is cool, and the rain slides down it in slow, patient lines. Occasionally, two streams meet and merge, becoming one before continuing downward. The movement is unhurried, predictable, easy to watch even with closed eyes, as if the mind remembers it without needing to see. Evelyn shifts her shoulders slightly beneath the blanket, the wool adjusting with a soft sound that fades quickly. She exhales, long and gentle, and the warmth settles more deeply around her. Her hands rest loosely, fingers relaxed, no tension held anywhere. The dim light above reflects faintly on the window near her seat, creating a soft glow that seems to float rather than shine. Samuel's breathing grows slower, deeper, each breath arriving quietly and leaving without effort. His head remains tilted back against the seat, his posture unchanged. The train's movement supports him completely, carrying him forward without asking him to participate. The carriage itself seems to breathe along with its passengers, Small sounds rise and fall gently. Fabric shifts. A faint creak from the floor as the train curves slightly along the track. Then everything settles again, returning to the same calm rhythm. Outside, the landscape continues to pass by as indistinct shapes, softened by darkness and rain. There are moments when a distant light appears, blurred and pale, then slips away again. The light never lingers. It does not demand attention. It simply passes, leaving the night unchanged. Daniel's shoulders sink a little deeper into the seat, as if gravity itself has softened. His hands feel heavier now, resting fully, fingers barely moving. The warmth in the carriage feels even and steady, wrapping around him without pressure. Evelyn's head tilts slightly forward, then settles back again. The blanket remains in place, holding its shape. Her breathing stays slow, and even, each rise and fall gentle and consistent. The rain continues its quiet tapping against the glass, blending seamlessly with the motion beneath the train. Samuel stirs just once, a small shift of his neck, then becomes still again. His face remains calm, neutral, at ease. The steady sound of the wheels continues beneath him, unchanged. The train glides through another long stretch of open night. The rain never stops, never starts again. It simply continues, patient and constant. The windows shimmer faintly, reflecting the interior lights in soft, elongated shapes. A few seats away, a passenger adjusts their position, the movement careful and slow. The sound is brief, then gone. The carriage absorbs it easily, returning to quiet. Daniel's thoughts are barely forming now, more like sensations than ideas. The gentle rocking of the train feels like a slow tide, lifting and settling without effort. His breathing follows the same pattern, steady and unforced. Evelyn's eyelids remain closed, her expression peaceful. The warmth around her feels complete, as if there is nothing more to add. The blanket rises and falls softly with each breath. Samuel's breathing remains deep and regular. The carriage lights cast a warm glow across his face, smoothing every line, softening every shadow. The rain outside grows slightly finer for a while, then returns to its earlier rhythm. The change is subtle, almost unnoticeable, and it fades quickly into sameness. The sound remains gentle and predictable. The train enters another tunnel, and the darkness outside deepens again. The rain sound becomes quieter, echoing faintly. Inside, the warmth feels more pronounced, the light more intimate. The carriage feels like a small, enclosed world, moving smoothly through the night. When the train emerges, the rain is still there, unchanged. The outside remains blurred and distant, the night stretching endlessly ahead. The motion never pauses. Daniel remains still, supported completely by the seat and the steady movement. His body feels heavy in a pleasant way, relaxed and settled. Evelyn's breathing continues, slow and rhythmic. The blanket remains warm, the air around her calm and still. Samuel does not move now. His posture is steady, his presence quiet. The carriage holds its calm. The wheels continue their gentle pattern. The rain continues its soft fall. The light remains warm and low. Time drifts without being marked. Minutes blend together, indistinguishable from one another. Nothing new is introduced. Nothing needs to change. The train continues forward through the night, steady and unhurried, carrying its quiet passengers through rain and darkness. The rhythm repeating softly, predictably, as the night stretches on, calm and uninterrupted, gently continuing beyond what needs to be noticed. The train keeps moving with the same calm certainty, its motion so steady that it no longer feels like movement at all, but like a quiet state of being. The sound beneath the carriage remains unchanged, the gentle rhythm repeating in a way that the body recognizes and accepts without effort. Outside, the rain continues to fall, soft and even, touching the glass and sliding downward in familiar, patient lines. Daniel remains resting by the window, his head supported by the seat, his eyes closed. The glass beside him is cool, and the rain tracing its slow paths feels almost like a memory rather than something he needs to see. His breathing is deep and regular now, each breath arriving quietly and leaving just as softly. His shoulders stay loose, his hands heavy and still in his lap. Evelyn does not move beneath her blanket. The wool rests comfortably around her shoulders, holding warmth close. Her breathing remains slow, rising and falling in a gentle rhythm that mirrors the motion of the train. The dim light above her casts a soft glow, smoothing the lines of her face, making everything appear calm and settled. Samuel remains at rest as well, his head tilted back, his body supported by the seat and the steady sway. There is no tension in his posture, no small adjustments left to make. The night train carries him without resistance, and he allows it to do so completely. The carriage feels quieter now, though the sounds have not changed. The rain still taps softly against the windows. The wheels still hum beneath the floor. Fabric still rests against fabric. It is the kind of quiet that comes not from silence, but from consistency. Outside, the night remains blurred and indistinct. Occasional lights appear far away, softened by rain, then drift out of view again. They do not linger, and they do not matter. The darkness remains calm and unbroken. Daniel's breathing slows just a little more, settling into an easy pattern. His body feels fully supported, as if the seat and the motion together are holding him in place. The warmth around him remains constant, neither increasing nor fading. Evelyn's blanket rises and falls gently with each breath. The air around her feels still, undisturbed. The rain continues its quiet work against the glass beside her, unchanged and patient. Samuel's presence remains steady and unmoving. The sound of the train beneath him continues to repeat over and over without variation. The rhythm feels familiar, almost like a lullaby made of motion and sound. The train passes through another stretch of darkness, and then another, each one blending seamlessly into the next. The rain never stops. The motion never breaks. The carriage remains softly lit and warm. Time stretches gently, without edges. There is no sense of how long the journey has been, or how long it will continue. There is only the steady continuation of this moment, repeating calmly. Daniel remains still, his breathing even and slow. Evelyn rests wrapped in warmth. Samuel remains supported by the gentle sway. The rain continues to fall. The wheels continue to turn. The light remains soft. The night carries on in the same quiet way, unhurried and unchanged, as the train glides forward through rain and darkness, holding its calm rhythm, continuing gently, steadily, beyond what needs to be noticed, and into whatever comes next.